relentless rain brought a major flooding, closing many schools and even streets were shut down. This is the Lincoln Marsh, home to many species of frogs, including the bullfrog, the green frog, and even the boreal chorus frogs. And right now you can hear the boreal chorus frogs singing, as this happens to be videotaped in early May. So now you know where the background of the book is coming from. I think it is time to get started. Welcome to another reading time with Natalie, the author and illustrator of this book, Five Foolish Frogs. As you can see, this is by me, the author and illustrator, Natalie Totire Brinley, and I think this was the first book that I had finished and published after getting married. And I was going to read it today and have an author fest today at the Wheaton Library, but that got canceled due to the coronavirus. So I decided I'm going to read it on video. And to make it go a little smoother, this could be a fun activity for kids. I brought a maraca so we can kind of make sounds along with the story, and they even made a little bead-filled film holder. Don't see these anymore, but the children could have fun making things like this. And it makes the story go a lot funner and smoother when it's interactive. As we can say, it kind of has a Native American appeal, since they do like to do storytelling based on natural events. And this one, it's based on a real event that happened in 2013, and then I just put some imagination to it and kind of made it humorous in a way. And as we can see, it's copyrighted 2017. This is the story about a family of bullfrogs living in the Lincoln Marsh in Wheaton, Illinois. The young frogs, whose names were Slip, Splash, Hop, Skip, and Grump, were always excited when spring came and they could leave their underground den. They came out of the pond, swam through the water, played lily pad, tag, fly ball, hide and go seek among the cattails, and leapfrog. Bullfrogs supposedly would hibernate in the winter, but not this family. They stayed in the underground den with a refrigerator that harvested fly butter, ladybug jam, and gnat nibs for seasoning. These frogs also had a sitting room and huge library, and it was their winter custom to read books and listen to stories. However, the 5 young frogs grew older and learned how to read on their own. Grump enjoyed it until late winter when he complained, "This is boring." Soon Slip, Splash, Hop, and Skip also longed for the spring days. Springtime came very early in the year 2012. Of course, those of us who are older will remember that. The frogs leaped about, raced in the marsh, played lily pad tag, hide and seek, and fly ball. But soon their fun did not last long. Already in May, it grew very hot. It turned into a very hot and dry summer. The marsh completely dried up, so they had no place left to cool off except in their den. "We are having a drought," their father said, "so we must stay down here." The 3 frogs did so, but they did not like it. "And I was doing so well at my lily pad jumps," the oldest brother Grump croaked. The frogs stayed under the cool ground and read every fairy tale they could find, including Cinder Frogella, Swamp White and the 7 Spring Peepers, Sleeping Beautiful Wood Frog, and best of all, The Human Prince, about a lady frog that kissed a human and turned him back into a frog again. "I would love to move on from fairy tales," Hop suggested. "You are right," the others agreed. "We are getting too old for these." "Autumn is here," their father called. "We could take a break, leap around in the mud, and catch a few crickets before the winter." "I would love to get out again," Splash suggested. As Slip, Splash, Hop, Skip, and Grump hunted for flies, ants, and beetles, they noticed another bullfrog hopping their way. "It's Grandfather Grump," Slip croaked out loud. "It's no use spending the days all summer alone in my den," Grandfather Grump riveted. "It's getting rather lonely, so how about if I spend the coming winter along with you? This ribbony old frog could use a little company." That sound would be wonderful, Skip leaped about. Maybe you could tell us some stories. I'm tired of stories, Grump croaked. How he could tell us more than stories, Hop intervened. Perhaps he could help us learn facts, real facts. The bullfrogs were glad to have Grandfather Glump join them for Thanksgiving dinner under their den. Mother Frog cooked them a plump roast cicada for dinner. They ate together with grasshopper stew, fly pudding, and ant pie. Grandfather Glump told stories at the table, including stories of how many more frogs used to share the pond, including green frogs, pickerel frogs, and leopard frogs, and oh, the chorus they made together. Grandfather Glump even joined the family on Christmas. Non-fiction books are what you would like, so I will give you a present. And he gave them books about water lilies, willow trees, better fly cooking, understanding the weather, and better den keeping. The 5 youngsters were about halfway through their books. Then again, they began to croak. This book on den keeping is so boring, Grump griped. Does Grandpa think we're so muddy and slimy and all that? I have no interest in cooking fly cuisine, Hop croaked. However, Skip's book about the weather is so cool and awesome, Splash said. Check out this picture of the tornado. And that is what snow actually looks like, Skip pointed. And did you know the more rain we get, the bigger our ponds? Slips pointed to another page. Let's hope for more rain this coming spring and summer, Hop said. Hope for more rain, Grump blurted out. Let's make it come. I'd rather make a book on controlling the weather. Like a book on rain dances, Skip burst in. I found one on the dance aisle when I was looking for a book on how to improve my hop. I don't know, but let's give it a try. Skip, you are a genius, Hop praised. The 5 frogs were all excited when they got their hands on the book, and Grump started to read it out loud. The southern toads observed this dance from the Native American humans down south, so they wrote it down. The Native Americans put paint on themselves and created turquoise necklaces. Then they wore bird feathers or animal hair on their head and danced in zigzag pattern. So the frogs read other books on how to create drums, rainmaker instruments, and how to string beads. They collected blue jay feathers for headdresses and wove together turquoise necklaces. Then they started out their drum when the rain sticks. Boom, shuffle, boom, shuffle, boom, shuffle. Shake the maraca. What are you doing? Grandfather Grump, who heard the commotion, asked the frogs. We're trying to make a rain dance, Hop replied. We're going to make it get us more rain. Oh no, never try during the winter months, Grandfather Glump said sternly. I heard a rumor that in 2011 the frogs tried to do a rain dance the night before Groundhog Day. He only hoped to bring in clouds so that the groundhog would not see his shadow and make spring come earlier that year. And some of you remember how that backfired. Yeah, Grump replied, one of the worst blizzards in history. We ended up staying in our den much longer because of all that snow would not go away. Bother that. Therefore, never do your dance until springtime. You all remember? Got it, they replied. So I guess it really does work, Slip observed. The cold air lasted a good long while, so the frogs did not leave their den until early April, when Hop said, the temperature is above freezing. We can get back up again. At last, Skip proclaimed, the winter should seem to last forever. Good enough so we know our dance backwards and forwards, Splash rejoiced. The frogs enjoyed leaping and splashing in the pond, although it was still quite cold. Let's try our rain dance again, Slip blurted out. Yes, let's, Skip agreed. So the frogs put on necklaces, headgear, played their drums, and danced in a zigzag pattern. Playing again. Well, I don't see anything happening yet, Grump noted. Let's keep at it. So the frogs hopped, skipped, danced, and beat their drums for 3 hours. And something did appear. It was a dark cloud. Our dance is now working, Skip rejoiced. Onward they danced, and the rain started falling. The frogs rejoiced. How do you know it is not just coincidence? Grump asked. Dance again tomorrow and find out if the same thing happens. The frogs danced again the next day, and the rain surely came again. This is far out, Splash exclaimed. I really think it's working. Let's keep dancing. So the frogs continued to dance, and the rain fell again the next day. You make a pitter-patter sound. Father, Mother, Skip cried out. Look, we're bringing you more rain. How about that? Mother Frog looked at Father. A rain dance. We're very grateful, Father Frog said. But remember what a wise old frog told us in one of the proverbs, never overdo a good thing. After Father and Mother Frog jumped away to hunt more flies, Splash said to the others, Nah, we don't have to listen. The more rain we get, the bigger our pond. And I like it that way, Skip added. More places to swim, Slip agreed. So each new day in April, the frogs continued their rain dance, and the rain fell day after day. So they're continuing their dance, beating their drum, and the rain falls. All right, Father Frog croaked out. I am sure the water lilies are in need of sun. You must stop this nonsense. But we like having our pond deep, Skip protested. Father is right, their mother butted in. If the pond is too deep, it can cause problems. Father and Mother soon turned their heads in disgust and swam between the reeds. What problems can a deep pond cause anyways? Splash asked. Look, he said, pointing at an old log that floated by. The water brought this in. We can stand on top and pretend we have our own boat. The frogs jumped on top of the log and continued their dancing as they floated in circles. Skip paddled it with a reed and said, Whee! On the 17th of April, the frogs had so much fun on their boat that they danced away faster and more furiously. It rained very hard. You can make a pitter-patter sound, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. The pond grew even larger. Soon Grandfather Glump swam toward them. Haven't you been listening to Mom and Dad? Water is starting to pour into our den, and we are trying to save our stuff and put it on higher ground. So please stop this foolishness at once. And after he swam away, Hop asked, Shall we stop? Nah, we don't have to worry about that, old Don. We're tired of it anyway, Skip replied. Besides, the bigger our pond, the more places we have to boat. Why should any of that spoil our fun? Splash asked. Let's keep dancing and see what happens. So they continued their Indian rain dance all night long. And the pond continued to grow larger and larger. Quick, Father, Mother, and Grandfather called out. Swim to the dock and get to higher ground. The pond is getting out of control. Oh, but we're fine in this boat, and we're making waves too, Splash croaked out in joy, but before he finished talking, he felt the boat pulling away at great speed, further and further away from the rest of the family. It was early morning on April the 18th. The Lincoln Marsh grew so high that it merged into the Winfield Creek, and the creek quickly swept all frogs away on their little boat. The current grew so fast and strong they could do nothing but hold on. The frogs floated from the Winfield Creek to the DuPage River, where the currents grew extremely strong that they thrust to the Des Plaines River toward the Illinois River, bumping them under bridges and above flooded roads. The river twisted and turned at rapid speeds. Further south they went. At last they came to a stop among a group of dead and fallen trees where a speckled frog helped them up. Hello, my name is Huckleberry Legs, he said. I am a southern leopard frog. I'm going about saving lots of critters whose homes got destroyed in the flood, he said, pointing to a rabbit and chipmunk. Tell me about yourselves. We're learning how to make it rain, Skip replied, not knowing what else to say, and our mom and dad told us to stop, but we wanted to see what would happen. That's beside the point, Hop looked at Skip. We came from the Lincoln Marsh in Wheaton, Illinois. Whoa, I have no clue where that is, Huckleberry said. Must be somewhere way up north. Can you tell us where we're at? Grump asked. You are in St. Louis, Huckleberry Legs replied. The beginnings of the Mississippi River. Since you took matters into your own hands and did not listen to your parents, I conclude you are very foolish. Many animal homes and people's homes were destroyed because of you, and I am taking these critters further south with me to find new homes. The rabbit and chipmunk glared. Well, we'll just have to forgive them. They nodded and smiled. Then, can you help us get back home? Grump asked. This river only runs south. You just might have to get back home another way. Huckleberry Legs waved goodbye and continued to head south. Oh, the frogs have to think about what they're gonna do. Maybe they might have to get back home the hard way. What do you think? And this was based on a true story. This is actually a photograph of the Lincoln Marsh merging into the Winfield Creek 2 days later. And if you ever find those foolish frogs, please let me know. I think I'll have a word with them. And this is me, the author,